All righty. There's my mic. You know, I need that. I can't just talk without it. What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys all for stopping by. Let me just fix this audio a little bit. Thank you guys all for stopping by. And let me know. You can see me, hear me, all that good stuff. And we'll go ahead and get started. I just sat down, as you guys could see, just sat down right before I was trying to do a few things before the show. And so here we are. So thank you everyone for being here. I think I'm having some issues already with the live stream. It's not showing me everybody that's in the room. So I don't know what that's all about, but hopefully YouTube will fix that really quickly. But yes, like I said, as you come in, let me know you're here. Let me know you can hear me. Also, please hit the like button. That way we can promote this out to more people. And we will be getting started very shortly. Looks like my audio is not quite loud enough. Can you guys hear me now? Should be pretty good now. All right. Okay, here we go. Now it's starting to work. So what we're going to talk about today, let's go ahead and go over that. So we're going to talk about the negotiations. That's the first thing that we'll talk about. So where are we with the next stimulus package? So we'll be discussing that. We're also going to talk about this executive order. I know you guys heard about this earlier today. The president was letting, or kind of putting that out there, that possibly there could be an executive order if nothing gets if nothing gets done as far as Congress. I'll talk a little bit about that, and I'll talk to you about why that's probably not a good thing for us. And then we'll talk about the good news. And the good news, there's actually two stories. One, Logan Alec. If you guys haven't heard of Logan Alec, he has a channel. He talks about stimulus checks. He's a CPA, and he just or not announced it, but he just talked about this story. I just saw it earlier about Lindsey Graham possibly having a solution to all of the enhanced unemployment issues. So we'll talk a little bit about it. I don't have enough information yet in order to do like a full-on, critique of what's going to happen. We actually don't even know what's going to happen because Lindsey Graham, he's going to present a proposal for this enhanced unemployment. And so I'll mention it. Like I said, I'm going to do more research. I'll have some more stuff for you tomorrow. The proposal should come out tomorrow. This is an amendment to the HEALS Act, or at least a portion of the HEALS Act, which would address the enhanced unemployment. So we'll talk about that. And then the other good news is the $2 trillion. Now, this is not being talked about a lot, but yesterday when I showed you or let you listen to the radio interview with Mitch McConnell, the interviewer asked him about you guys want $1 trillion, Democrats want $3 trillion. Is there a possibility that could be $2 trillion? And Mitch McConnell's response was basically, we need to get this done. So that opens the door to potentially $2 trillion, which would be good for a variety of different reasons, obviously. But that just means that a lot of what the HEROES Act has in it has an opportunity to be in this next bill. So that's something good that I want to talk about. So those are the three things. I actually said four, but those are the four issues that we're going to talk about today. So as I said, please, when you guys come in the room, just let me know you're here. Just hit that like button. And also let me know if you can hear me and all that good stuff. So let's see here. I'm going to check the chat real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the show. Thank you guys all for being here. We have about 700 people in the room. So I really appreciate all of your support. It means the world to me. Miss Happy Apple, thank you for stopping by and being here. She's one of the moderators, so she'll be helping out. I always appreciate moderators coming in. And we don't schedule this, so just so you know. Like I'll put out, I'll try to let you know as soon as possible when I'm doing a video, but I don't schedule with the moderator, say, hey, I'm going to be on. Can you come in and help? They're just doing this on their own free will. So I really appreciate that support. I couldn't do it without them. I'm telling you, when it comes down to it, especially when you start hitting numbers like we're hitting now when it comes to live streams, it does get a little chaotic, and there's so many people in here that it's very hard for me to be able to address issues and things like that on the fly while I'm doing other things too. So I really appreciate her being here. We will watch a video, probably in about 5 minutes, of Stephen, or I'm not Stephen Mnuchin, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. So well, we'll get into it in about 5 minutes. I don't want to spoil all that. But yeah, thank you guys all for being here. Really appreciate it. And also let me know. I have the background here. We'll go ahead and change the color in a minute. But let me know. These are the colors that we're looking at. I think it'll focus. If it's focused, let's see here. Yeah, those are the colors. So just let me know, and I will make that adjustment to the colors of the background. So let me know which one you think will be good. Now, we've done purple for the last few days, so let's try something a little different. Different color. So just let me know in the chat what you guys like. All right. And one other thing that I didn't put out here earlier, but I'm going to start running polls through the chat. Okay. And I will explain to you guys how this works right now as soon as I pull this up. I used to do this on my old live stream. It's nice because it gives you an opportunity to kind of see where people are when it comes to different issues, and this is a real good opportunity for us to use these. And let's see, yeah, this is not what I was looking for. Okay, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, this does not look familiar. I think they just changed their website. Yeah, let's see. I was just looking at this yesterday. I just set everything up yesterday, and it looks like they've changed their website, or at least the front page. Okay, yeah, it's just the front page. And I'm like, where do I go? Where do I go? I'm lost. All right, let's see. All right. And there we go. All right, so I'll go ahead and release a poll right now. Let's see, which one is this one here? All right, we'll just go ahead and release it. So what you guys are going to see, and it might take a second for it to load up here, but once it does, it'll explain to you how to do it. Let's see, my chat is slow. Okay, so, and I'll just let you know beforehand. So I just opened up this poll. There it goes right there. A poll has been opened for, will the stimulus package get approved this week? Okay, so there's a way that you can vote yes or no, and then I get that information, and I'll let you know at the end of the show what the answer is. And I'll probably do a couple of polls. So I'll do this one, and then I'll probably do another one halfway through. And I'll let you know how the poll looks as far as who's voted yes, who's voted no. And so the way that you do it is exclamation point. So, and it has to be all one word. So exclamation point vote yes, all lowercase, or exclamation point vote no. So that's what you have to do it. And it has to be, like I said, all one word, so all together, and all lowercase. And that should get you a vote. And then we'll go with that. All right. So let's go ahead and change the color real quick. Now you guys are gonna have to help me. I see teal, and I haven't used teal before, but I don't even know what color teal is. I don't know what color teal is. All right, look, I'm gonna hold this up. Let me know what color teal is. Let me know what color it's next to. Like, is it? I'm thinking it's like the blues, right? Teal, kind of a blue color, maybe up. I'm doing this is opposite, but up there top. Just tell me, is it the one right between blue and purple? I think, or like a violet. I don't know. Let me know what color teal is. I'd be interested to know because I have no idea. Yeah, I think it's a guy thing. We're not really Like I know basic colors, obviously, but like when you start getting into some of these colors, like teal and stuff like that, I have no turquoise. I don't know. I mean, it's like a bluish color, I guess. Uh, yeah, so let me know that. I'm watching you guys right now in the chat. So yeah, if you guys want to join the vote. So like I said, it's going to be exclamation point vote. And it tells you right there, right? Exclamation point. Let's see. I think it says it right here. Oh, and you know what? I apologize. I actually told you guys were wrong. So it should be exclamation point vote space yes, or exclamation point vote. And exclamation point vote is one word, all lowercase. Everything is lowercase. Exclamation point vote space yes. Exclamation point vote space no. That's how it goes. Should look like this. Exclamation point vote yes. That's the way it should look. All right, guys. We'll go ahead and get started with the show. And so far we have four total votes. 3 people are saying yes. We're all hoping, right? We're all hoping that this happens this this week, because this is it. This is it, guys. If it doesn't get done this week, then there's going to have to be an extension as far as they're going to have to forego recess. The senators will. And we already know that they're not really open to do that as of right now. Maybe that will change later in the week, but as of right now, they're not really open to make that change, or to forego their recess. So let's go ahead and let's see, Raphael. See, I didn't know you guys can do colors. That would be nice if you guys just showed me colors. Like Raphael here, he shows the colors. If you guys can do that, that would be a lot easier for me to figure out what color to make the background. So we're gonna do the first. We'll do the first story, the negotiations. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll move on to. Okay, teal is kind of like this. All right, so it's kind of like a light blue, a lighter blue. Thank you, Cocoa, Cocoa Butter Barbie. Love the name. Love the name. All right, so we'll do the first segment, and then after that, then we'll go ahead and change the background color, and then we'll go on to the other sections. All right, guys, so thank you guys all for stopping by. We're going to talk about negotiations. So the negotiations for the next round of stimulus checks and the next stimulus package. So Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Stephen Mnuchin, and Mark Meadows, they all met today. And they met for about 2 hours, like 2.5 hours, I think they said. And it was interesting because Stephen Mnuchin and Mark Meadows, they did not answer questions. So basically what you have is all the reporters waiting right outside of the, I believe they're at the Capitol. So they're waiting right outside the Capitol. They're waiting for waiting for them to come out of the negotiations, because usually they do a little press conference. So they'll say how the meeting went. But Stephen Mnuchin and Mark Meadows just walked by. They did not say anything. So that might be a sign of things aren't going well. But and I'll let you see the video, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, the way they were talking like things are still going okay. So we had a productive meeting on Saturday. They did not meet on Sunday, but their aides met, and they were working out some of the numbers as far as how, working out the numbers and then working out the packages. What I think they're doing right now is they're putting the packages together, in a sense that they're looking at the HEROES Act as well as looking at the HEALS Act. And this is the way it should have always been anyway. If you're not going to go with the HEROES Act, at least bring it to the table. Take out those parts that you like, and then present those, as well as same thing with the HEALS Act. Take out the parts that you can even prioritize the different things that you have, and then put those on the table, and then kind of work from there. So it looks like that's what they're doing. That's probably what the aides were doing yesterday. They were getting this all together. And so I want to first listen to their press conference. So this is Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
Unemployment.
Let's start it from the beginning. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. We just finished a 2-hour meeting with Secretary Mnuchin and Chief of Staff Meadows. It was productive. We're moving down the track. We still have our differences. We are trying to have a clearer understanding of what the needs are. And the needs are this, that millions of children in our country are food insecure. Millions of people in our country are concerned about being evicted. Tens of millions of people are unemployment insurance. The way we can correct so much of that is for us to defeat the virus. And so much of our discussion has to be on how we defeat the virus, and that takes dollars and policy. And I think that we've had good sessions of understanding where we need to go, as the leader says all the time, understanding the gravity of the situation. The virus is the villain. We can open our economy, we can open our schools, but we can only do it if our children and our families are safe. And opening our schools is a place where we spent a good deal of time. Mr. Leader?
Yeah. Again, we are really getting an understanding of each side's position, and we're making some progress on certain issues, moving closer together. There are a lot of issues that are still outstanding, but I think there is a desire to get something done as soon as we can. And so we continue to work, the staffs will be working. What we did today, to give you a little flavor of it, is we went through the numbers in the proposal that the Senate put in and the proposal that we have. How many children can you feed with this amount of dollars? For how long? How many schools can you protect for this amount of dollars so that they can open up when? And you know, our proposals obviously are a lot more generous than theirs, and that's because, as the Speaker said, this is the greatest problem we have faced in 100 years on the health front, the greatest problem we've faced in 75 years on the economic front, and we think we need a much fuller, stronger response by the federal government to get out of this mess and to get out of this serious crisis. If we don't have that response, it'll take longer. More people will stay unemployed for a longer period of time, more businesses will close, etc. So, but by going through these specific numbers and what each side thinks they can do with their dollar allocation, it really helps us understand that and move together in a better direction. And that's what we spend time doing. Thank you. You want to go? Yep, thank you.
All righty. So there it is. That is all we get from the negotiations today. And so it looks like if they're starting to look at the numbers, this is a good sign in the sense that they're starting to put everything together. So exactly what they want from the HEROES Act in this next package. So that's what it sounds like, at least from the Democratic standpoint, they're bringing this stuff in. And from the Republican standpoint, we don't know yet. We don't know exactly what's happening as far as are they receptive to that, or is this just what the Democrats are putting on the table, and they're saying basically, okay, you know, you have this amount of money allocated for children, and we have this amount of money allocated for children. How many children can we help? Basically, is what they were saying at this point with the amount of money that's provided. So we'll see where that goes. It's interesting to me because I would think the better way to go about this would be because right now you have Republicans, some Republicans, 15 to 20 Republicans that are saying they're not voting on anything. They're not voting for another stimulus package, period. And so because of that, that should be more the reason. I mean, you should really be looking to the Democrats to try to present the HEROES Act again and make some alterations to it and try to present that again. It's already been passed. That's the thing. So when I say passed, I mean it passed the House. So you're halfway there. And so I would think if Nancy Pelosi really wanted to get this done faster, don't do anything with the HEROES Act. Go with the HEROES Act, but make the changes. So make some changes with the HEROES Act and then present that, get it signed off in the Senate, and then bring it back to the House and say, hey, look, this is what we have. This is all we can do at this point. We've taken out the a lot of the pork that the Republicans were talking about, the marijuana research and some of this stuff that they had in there. Take that stuff out and just try to streamline this HEROES Act and get this passed. And so I'm hoping that that's what they do. Now we're still looking. I mean, there's still an issue, and I think the issue is the short-term bill or the full bill. That's where they're at a stalemate, because we obviously see both sides want something to happen, but do you want a short-term solution, or do you want a more, a longer-term solution that will go the rest of the year? And so we'll have to see. They can always add, a stabilizer where in the bill it could be a full bill, but it has stabilizers in it. So if our economy drops to a certain level, then it will reduce the amount of money that will go out at that time. So they can always add something like that, especially the whole enhanced unemployment, because right now, and this is the danger. You have enhanced unemployment being talked about right now and the eviction moratorium. Those are the two things that are being talked about right now. So if they want to do a short-term bill and they want to only add those two things, well, guess what? Stimulus checks is not in there. It's not being talked about in the same sentence when they're talking about these other two things. And so that could mean that stimulus checks gets pushed off until September, until negotiating in September. And it doesn't necessarily mean it will happen in September, because what we need to understand is stimulus checks, there's no timeline, there's no expiration, there's no, politicians are more focused, and this is Stephen Mnuchin saying this, politicians are more focused when there's a timeline, right? I think we all are, really. I mean, you give us an expiration date and we're doing our taxes last minute, we're doing our work, and at work we wait. Not everyone, but a lot of us will wait to the last minute in order to get things pushed through. So because of that, they're more focused. The politicians are more focused when there's a timeline. But for stimulus checks, there's really no timeline. I mean, there isn't a timeline. They're adding it to this bill, but there's no time crunch. But there is a time crunch for the enhanced unemployment. It's already expired. Eviction moratorium already expired. So it's good to try to put all that stuff in there at the same time where there's that time crunch, because if not, you might run a risk in September where politicians will start saying, yeah, you know what, the economy looks like it's getting better. There's no need for us to go with another round of stimulus checks. So that's always the danger. And that's why I think Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are really fighting to get this full bill, because they know if they start doing short-term bills or skinny bills or just short bills in general, they run a risk of losing a lot of this stuff. Hazard pay, the same thing. You run a risk of losing hazard pay if you try to, accommodate these certain areas where there is a fixed timeline that's already expired. So that's where I think they're going with this. Like I said, we don't know the other side. We don't know what the White House has to say about this, because they did not. You saw how they walked up to the podium. They didn't walk up. They just kept on walking. So we don't know. We don't know what they're thinking right now. Okay, so I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below, and also the poll that we have out there. As far as if you are doing the live poll, do the live poll. But after the fact, if you're watching this later, in the comment section, let me know. Do you think the stimulus package will be done this week? So we have the deadline is August 7th, because the Senate has indicated that they will be going on recess on August 8th. They have not said anything about foregoing the recess. So at this point, they're going to be going on recess August 8th, which would mean that this would be pushed off until September if they can't get it together. Nancy Pelosi has already indicated, and actually the House was going to be, they were set to be on recess right now, but she is foregoing the recess. The House is, as a whole, is foregoing the recess until they get something signed. So we'll have to see where it goes. The House is here. The Senate is currently here, but will the Senate be here next week if nothing is resolved? So yeah, let me know down below if you think that this will be resolved this week or if it will take a little bit longer. All right, so the next story I want to talk about. So the executive order. So I know you guys have all been hearing about this. Washington Post put out an article today just talking about the fact that we could potentially see the president stepping in and through an emergency economic disaster kind of executive order, do something when it comes to the payroll tax. And so, like, suspend the payroll tax. That means that people who are working right now will receive an extra 6.5% to 7%. So that could be something that the president can do. The only problem with that is, well, there are a variety of different problems with it. When it comes to executive orders, you really have to be careful. And we know the president he's done a lot of executive orders, okay? And just understand, when the president was running for president, that was one of his major gripes with Obama is doing too many executive orders. Well, he's doing the same thing. And it gets very, it gets very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a good thing if you're doing a lot of executive orders, especially when you're doing executive orders like this, because the whole process, our whole balance of government is centered around giving the legislative branch certain powers, giving the executive branch, the presidency, certain powers, giving the judicial branch certain powers. And if you start breaking it down and you have a president who is now basically stepping on their toes, or doing their job in a sense, doing these executive orders where he's just saying, okay, this is how it's going to be. We're going to forego the legislative process. That's a huge problem with our democracy, or will be a huge problem with our democracy, because now you have a president who is doing everything, and we can't. Our government is based on separating those powers. And if you as a president just want to take over everything, then guess what? We're no longer a democracy, because we don't have that balance. So it's a scary situation if that were to happen, if he were to step in and do something like that. I'm sure people receiving that extra 7% would be happy, because your paychecks are going to be more. The only problem with that is that money is coming from somewhere, right? It's coming from Social Security, Medicare, and then it has to be, at some point, Congress does need to step in, because Congress carries the purse. Okay, not only do they legislate, but they have the money. That's the balance of power. They have the money. Now, if the president just steps in and says, "Okay, executive order, we're going to do this," then they're taking away. The president's taking away the power of the purse. And he doesn't have the money, so he's going to have to redirect money. So in a situation like this, he would just suspend the IRS would basically suspend the payroll tax. The payroll taxes would be suspended, so you wouldn't have to pay them anymore. That's what they would do. But at some point, they're going to have to figure out, okay, we're losing, the government is losing all this money that they would have been picking up and payroll tax cut, and so that's going to affect different areas, like I said, Social Security, Medicare. Now, if he were to try to even go a step further, which I don't even think he'd be able to do at this point, and people have asked this question before, as far as stimulus checks, can he just print out more stimulus checks? Well, he doesn't have the money to do that, because Congress carries the purse. They have the money. So what he would have to do is redirect money from other areas of government. The most money that we spend is in our military. So that would probably be where he would have to redirect money from the military in order to print out checks for people. And so I'm pretty sure we want that money to stay in the military to protect us. But that's what would have to happen. And we're talking billions of dollars. We're talking hundreds of billions. We already know the CARES Act, the stimulus checks, that was about $300 billion. So that's what that's the type of money that we're talking about. So to answer your question, an executive order to print out more stimulus checks, probably not something that would be able to happen. Just financially, they wouldn't have the money to do it, and they'd have to redirect money, and it would really hurt one of those areas that they're pulling money from. So highly unlikely for that to happen. As far as the enhanced unemployment, I don't know how they would work that. Like if you do an executive order for enhanced unemployment, and that's why they said that they are, what was the word? I can't remember the exact word that they used, but basically doing an analysis or just kind of looking into how they could do an executive order. That's kind of the talk, right? And the president did speak on this today in his press conference. He did speak on it and basically said, yeah, it's something they're considering. I think it's all talk. I think it's just a bluff. That's my opinion, but I can't see them seriously considering this. This would be one of those things where you would have a lot of Republicans break from the president at that point. They would draw the line on this, especially the fiscal conservatives. Some of the fiscal conservatives have already kind of drawn the line, but a lot of Republicans would be very, very upset with this if he were to do an executive order and just put a freeze on, suspend the payroll tax and stuff like that. That's really stepping over the line. And obviously, Congress people, if you're serious about your job, you understand that there is a balance of government, and that's stepping way over the line doing something like that. So we'll have to see where this goes, but it's bad for stimulus checks in the sense that if he does do something like this might be it. Like he might just say, okay, you know what? They're not getting along, so we're going to go ahead and do this and do the payroll tax suspension, and that's it. And then Congress stalls, they don't do anything with it, and nothing else happens from there. That's the only thing that we see. Now, this only benefits people who are working as well. That's something I didn't mention. It's only going to benefit people who are working. So if you're unemployed, it's not going to benefit you in any way. If you're on fixed income, so your Social Security, SSI, SSDI, railroad retirement, veterans beneficiaries, it's not going to benefit you. As a matter of fact, it's going to hurt programs like that. So we'll see what they do with this. I personally think the president's just bluffing. I don't see him seriously doing this. I guess if it comes down to it, he might be forced to do it. His poll numbers are down right now. If Congress can't get something together, then he might be forced just to do it, just to look like he's doing something. But we'll have to see where that goes in the coming weeks. All right, the next story that I want to talk about is the good news. So yesterday when I did the live stream, I was talking about Mitch McConnell, and he was mentioning or he was in an interview. And if you missed the interview, just check out. You know what I'm starting to do? I do timeline, or like a timeline. So if you check out my description, there are little. Like a paragraph, not a paragraph. There's actually a little sentence, and then I'll have a number, like the timestamp. That's what I'm trying to think. I can't think of the word. There's a timestamp in the description. So you can just go to that timestamp, click on that. It'll take you right to the portion that I'm talking about here. So Mitch McConnell was in an interview, radio interview, and he was asked the question, okay, the Democrats want $3 trillion. You want $1 trillion. How about $2 trillion? Is that on the table? And Mitch McConnell pretty much said he wants to get this done. So $2 trillion is on the table, which is really good. That's a good sign. And that might be why we saw Mitch McConnell, I'm getting all these guys mixed up. We saw Chuck Schumer say that they're looking at each side, the HEALS Act, the God, I'm so we looked at the HEALS Act and the HEROES Act. So he's putting both of them together, and then he's trying to figure out, or they're trying to figure out which, how much money they have for each different program. They might be looking at that and saying, okay, we have about $2 trillion that we can move up to. So a lot of that stuff from the HEROES Act can be in this next bill. And if you already lost support, from almost half of the Republican senators, if you've already lost support in those people, they're not going to vote either way for a stimulus package, well, then you're going to have to go with what the Democrats want, because you've lost a lot of leverage. I'm talking about Mitch McConnell. He's lost a lot of leverage when it comes to getting the HEALS Act really pass, because those Republican senators aren't going to vote for it anyway. It could be the HEALS Act, the HEROES Act. It doesn't matter. They're still not going to vote for it. So you take those people out of the equation. Let's say it's 20. We'll go the high number. Let's say it's 20 Republican senators that are not going to vote for another stimulus package. They're done. So now you have there's 53 senators. So now out of that, what is that? 33 senators that could vote either way, right? They could go with the HEALS Act, and some of them might even go with the HEROES Act. If you streamline it, you take out the pork and stuff, some of them might go with the HEROES Act. So take the Democrats. Democrats want the HEROES Act. So if you can look at that HEROES Act, focus on that, maybe you have a deal, right? So I'm thinking that's what they're trying to figure out now. And now that Mitch McConnell's kind of opened the door to $2 trillion, it looks pretty good. It looks like that could possibly happen, where they could take a lot of what the HEROES Act has in it and put that forward, because we're talking about the same things. It's just the amount of money. That's the whole issue. The eviction moratorium is not in the HEALS Act, but guess what? The president the now, so that means that the eviction moratorium is in the HEROES Act. So now they can look at that and say, okay, let's bring in some of these things. The president wants this, so let's bring that in. And so maybe they can work out a deal that way. Even if you only have, you have 45 Democratic senators, okay? And they're not going to go this drastic, but I'm just saying you have 45 Democratic senators. You have 2 independents who caucus with the Democrats. So basically you have 47 votes. And if you can get all those votes, if Chuck Schumer can get all those votes together and say, okay, we're going to do the HEROES Act, but we're going to take out these things, and then you pull a few, ideally what you would want to do is you want to pull at least 14 Republicans over. That's all you need. And then you can get that. You have filibuster-proof majority, and then you can go ahead and go through, vote, approve it, send it to the House. And as long as it's not changed that much, then the House will be fine with it, and they'll pass it. So we'll see. We'll see where they go with it. But we don't know what the other side's thinking. We don't know what the White House is thinking, because they didn't talk today, and Mitch McConnell didn't talk today. And this is one of the things that really bothers me: the fact that you have people negotiating now. Stephen Mnuchin, Mark Meadows, they've been talking a lot. Okay, they've been out there. They've been talking to the press about the negotiating. Mitch McConnell is not. He's where is he? Really, where is he? He is the majority leader in the Senate. This proposal, the HEALS Act, is his proposal. Where is he? Okay, he's not meeting with them. He's not meeting in the same room. And he's not even speaking on it. Like at the very least, okay, you don't like Nancy Pelosi, or you can't be in the same room with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Okay, I don't agree with that. And it's your job to be in that room, whether you like them or not. But even to go a step further, why aren't you talking about it? Like, why aren't you? You should be out every day in a press conference, calling your own press conference, talking about this whole situation, where everyone is when it comes to this next stimulus package, your stimulus package. But you're not there. I don't know what to say, and I think this whole thing, just going back to the executive order kind of thing, the White House might be looking at this and saying, you know what, we don't know what to do anymore. Like, we have a majority leader who's not leading at this point. He's kind of just on the sidelines. And like I was telling you in videos, check out some of my older videos. You have players. He's one of the players, but he's not on the field. Okay, he's the key player. He's the quarterback that's sitting on the sidelines, wondering why nothing's getting done. Wondering why they're not, getting first downs. He's not even there, right? So we'll see if something happens. We hear something from him, but we should be hearing something from him. We did hear something from Lindsey Graham, and like I said, this is Logan Alec. I just watched his video, and I do watch YouTubers, right? I watch their videos, the reputable ones, and Logan Alec he's reputable. He puts out really good information, and so I haven't had a chance to do my research on this. This is right before I came on live, but Lindsey Graham looks like he's going to be presenting an amendment to the HEALS Act tomorrow with information as far as doing like 100% of your employment. So the enhanced unemployment, giving people up to 100% of their salary. And so they'd have to figure this out. This is the biggest problem with this whole thing is the old systems, the old every state has, and maybe we need to kind of, one of the things that we were able to get from, and I know I'm jumping into another topic, but one of the things that we were able to get from the situation with 9/11 is we started working closer together when it came to different government agencies. That's where you got the Homeland Security from. So maybe this is one of those times where we need to start realizing, okay, you have each state, they all have their own different unemployment agencies. Maybe we should all be on the same page just in case we have something else like this, another pandemic, where we need to have like a single system that works so we can get money out to people fast. And we won't have each different state struggling to try to figure out how to change their computer systems to allow what the federal government wants to give them, if you get what I'm saying. So basically, if the federal government says, okay, it's going to be 100% of your salary, then now all the state unemployment agencies have to, or unemployment offices have to figure out how to get that done. And some of the systems are more modern than others, and it's just, it's a mess. And so maybe that's something that can come from this, where we have maybe some type of a federal agency that oversees like all the unemployment agency. I keep saying agencies. Well, I guess it's considered agency. All the unemployment agencies, and tries to get them all kind of at the same standard. So if something comes down from the federal government, they're able to get whatever needs to be done. So we'll have to see what they do with that. This is future, right? But this is something that could happen in the future. But Lindsey Graham will be proposing something, an amendment, and I will, as soon as that comes out tomorrow, I'll be posting a video on that, because I think that might be a good opportunity for us to see some more movement when it comes to negotiating. But right now, this is where we are. We don't know much more than we did yesterday, which is not good, because yesterday was Sunday. We had a lot of information come out on Sunday. And then today, Monday, they're back to work, and we're not hearing as much information come out. So I won't say everybody, but some people are tight-lipped right now. So we'll have to see if that changes in the future. But I want to know what you guys think. So in the comment section, let me know down below, and we'll go ahead and open up. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I'm sure you have a lot of stuff to say. Let's see, our poll is going well. So 69% of the people think that we will get a package this week. So we'll get something approved this week. And maybe I should have been more specific. Like, I don't know the reality. And Nancy Pelosi mentioned this. She doesn't think something will be done this week. We have a ways to go, because we don't have an agreement yet in the Senate. So we don't have anything that's being voted on in the Senate. And then once something gets approved in the Senate, Nancy Pelosi is trying to figure out like what's the best route, because you have to think of the House as well. The House is going to have to vote on this. And so she's trying to figure out, okay, this is what the Senate wants in the HEALS Act or whatever they create, but what is the House going to want? And obviously you have a Republican-ran Senate, a Democratic-run House. So now you're going to have to try to figure out, Nancy Pelosi is going to have to figure out, do I have the numbers in the House to pass whatever the Senate passes? So there's some, we still have a little ways to go. And if it's close, like if it's close in the Senate, we might see a situation where it goes to the House and nothing happens. They're not able to get it done this week. So we will have to see how this plays out. But Nancy Pelosi does not think that they'll have something done this week, which means that we'll go into next week and hope that the Senate Republicans, or we'll hope that Mitch McConnell will forego recess and allow this to happen. Because if he does not forego recess, it's not going to happen. It will not happen. It dies there. And then that's when we'll probably be looking at an executive order if the president wants to do that. But like I said, I don't think that he can't do much. He's not going to be able to send out stimulus checks. So he'll be able to help people who are working right now with suspending the payroll tax, but that's like the extent that he can do. And then that money will need to be addressed at some point. So all that suspension at some point is going to need to be addressed. So it could go the other way fast, where we get that suspension. That's 7% suspension, so we're getting that money back, and then all of a sudden next year sometime they say, okay, we're going right back to the norm, or actually not going back to the norm. Instead of 7%, it jumps up to 14% or something like that, in order to pay off the money that we've spent, or the money that we received, and that wasn't going into the government. So we'll have to see where that goes, guys. If you can do me a favor right now, hit that like button. If you do that, that will help us promote this video out. Let me see. Why is my little things are not working today? All right. There it is. Like button. If you do that, that helps out the channel, and that also helps us promote this out to more people. All right, guys. Let's see. I'm going to open up the chat here. So if you guys have a question, just put @TEC or @TravelExplore click, and I will do my best to answer those questions. But we'll see. I was really surprised today that we didn't hear more information. I was thinking that we were going to hear some real concrete news, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that was in the cards, right? Okay, we have some super chats. Let me go ahead and give those shout outs. Thank you guys for the super chats. I really appreciate it. I haven't changed the background. All right. So teal, right? You guys let me know if this is teal. That's not teal. Is that teal? Let me know. All right. Yeah, Miss Happy Apple says blue-green. That's teal. All right. I don't know. Is it just me? Guys in the room, let me know. But I don't know colors like that. I know basic colors, but I don't know these, the teals and the turquoise and the violet. I mean, I know kind of where they are on the color spectrum, but I don't know, if I'm looking at it, I don't really know what that color is. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel I feel inadequate that I don't know it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I need to take a class or something on colors. All right. I thought I saw super chats, but maybe not. If you guys send me a super chat, I appreciate it, but I do not see you in the chat, or I don't see it in the chat. So maybe if no, I don't see it. It says they're here, but I don't see them. Okay, let's go ahead and answer some questions here. Like I said, just put @TEC. And so our poll right now is at 68%. We have 94 votes, and I'm going to back out of that poll, and we're going to do a new poll. And you know what? Maybe I can't do that. Yeah, we can. So I'll close that poll out. Thank you guys all for participating in that poll. We're going to do one more poll before we leave. And this is a controversial one. Poll is currently underway. Now, how do I close that? Let's see. Complete poll. There you go. All right. This is pretty controversial. It'll come up right now. And so what do you, or no, what? Who do you blame for the stimulus package delay? So who are we blaming here? Are we going to blame Trump? Are we blaming the Democrats? Are we blaming the Republicans? I didn't put everyone. that's realistically, I think we can all agree that they're all to blame. But I want to know who you think who is really made the biggest mistake when it comes down to it. I know it's pretty controversial, but I just wanted to put it out there. So the way that you do it, Republican, I already got one vote. The way that you do it, exclamation point, vote, all together, all lowercase, and then space, Republicans, space, Democrats, or space, Trump. So that's how you do it. All right, so we'll let that poll run, and then we'll answer some questions and get back to it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of blame to go all around, but I want to know what you guys think as far as who's like the biggest culprit, or who kind of created this whole situation. Okay, let's see here. Let's move on down and see what we have. Yeah, I'm just hoping something gets done this week, or at least there's progress to the point where by Friday the Senate has at least voted. If the Senate has voted by Friday, I think we're still in a good place. If they voted and they approved it by Friday, we're still in a good place, because what will happen is Nancy Pelosi has no shame in calling a session on Saturday. So calling everyone in on Saturday to vote, and then having it signed off by the president on Monday, that could happen. But the key is the Senate. The senators are very, stuck in their way, doing kind of, they're not very flexible when it comes down to, okay, you know what? Yeah, we'll forego our recess. They're not even talking about doing that. And so if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. It's kind of the way I'm interpreting that. So I'm hoping they could at least get a vote passed by the Senate, and then we can move forward. The good thing is we do live streams here. So if something does happen like that, I can do a live stream of it, and we can be here watching it together, watching C-SPAN together. All right. Okay, let's see. Any questions? Just put at TEC or put at Travel Explore Click, and I will answer those questions for you. Okay. And yes, make sure, if you guys have not done so, please hit the like button. We're at 1,100 likes. We've been doing really good with likes. I really appreciate that, guys. That helps out a lot. The last video that we put out, the last live stream, I believe it was, I didn't check right before we started, but last night it was like 23, 24, 25,000, somewhere around there, which is good for a live stream. That's good. Obviously, I want to get Morris Invest numbers, so I want to get it up to the 90,000s. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support, and the way that we get the video out more is by the likes. That's what really helps out. All right, we have a super chat here, Miss Happy Apple. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Not only is she helping moderate, but she's you're amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. And let's see. And we're gonna do the normal routine, or at least the last few live streams we've done this. So we're gonna do a giveaway. So a $50 giveaway, Cash App giveaway. That's gonna be in the Discord. Okay. So I think it should be sending you guys a notification of the stimulus check group. So that's what I'm talking about when I say the Discord. So there's a stimulus check group that we run. And it's a good place. It's a good place to be. It's really starting to get active. I actually like doing the giveaways right after the live stream, because that way we can bring some new people in. I'm going to pull up the link right now. I think it should be sending you guys a link. Like, if you guys see that Streamlabs, that little, it's like the Streamlabs is a moderator, but it's like a bot. It's a robot. And basically I program it to do certain things, and it will go ahead and do those things. So I'm hoping that it was sending you guys those notifications. But if not, I'm going to find the link real quick, and then I will post it in the chat so you guys can go over there. The Discord is free. All you need to do is just click on the link. It will take you over, and then just sign up for it, and then you'll be let right in. And then we'll be doing the giveaway. It's going to be in the it will be in the stimulus check update group, okay, our room, I should say. It's not too hard. If you come in, just ask someone as soon as you come in, where do I go for the giveaway, and then they'll point you in the right direction. Okay, hold on a second. I got a commercial going in my ear here. Hold on. All right, here is the link here. So go ahead, and if you have not signed up for our stimulus check group, go ahead and sign up. And like I said, it's free. It'll take you not even 5 minutes to sign up, and then you'll be able to go into the group. And there's a lot of information in there. So we have a stimulus check update room. We have a job announcement room. We have like a assistance room. So like state and local assistance. So if you're looking for that in your area, you can go there. We also have a Let's Chat group room where you can just go in and just talk about a variety of different things. I really like this setup. I used to use WhatsApp, and I had to move from WhatsApp only because, well, the main reason I left is because people felt the need to just call other people, which I thought was weird. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a lot of people, but we did have that happen a few times. So anyway, so I moved from there, but it's good that I moved to the Discord because the Discord allows me to do different rooms. On the WhatsApp group, it was just one feed, and I didn't like that because we couldn't talk about other things. And I understood, like, people want to talk about other things. It's not, you don't want to just talk about stimulus check stuff because there are other things that are going on. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to move to the Discord. Okay, let's see. Missouri definitely has really old computers and software. It's taken forever to receive any kind of benefits. That's Grace saying that. So she's talking about Missouri. Yeah, I see. I think, and I'm sure this is probably going to be looked at. They need to streamline things. They need to have some type of communication with the federal government as far as the equipment and stuff that they're using. So if we do have another situation like this, people can get online really fast and link everything up. And that's, like I said, that's part of the reason we have Homeland Security now. We didn't have that before. We didn't have like an agency like that. We had different federal law enforcement agencies that worked independently. And so when we had the tragedy, it was hard to communicate because of that. So now there's better communication between each agency, which is a good thing. So hopefully they'll do this with unemployment, because there are people that, I mean, there's still people that have not received their unemployment yet. So that in itself is interesting. I have a question too, and I haven't done this video yet, but I want to know. So in the chat, let me know, because I want to do this video about the dependent pay. So I received information from one person that told me that they received their dependent check from the CARES Act. So just to kind of go back, the CARES Act, in the CARES Act, if you were a non-filer, so let's say you don't file your taxes because you don't meet that threshold, that $12,200 threshold. So if you don't meet that, well, you don't have to file taxes. And so if you don't file taxes, the IRS didn't know who had dependents and who didn't. And so what they did is they opened it up to allow people to open up their portal to allow people to put in dependent information if they're non-filers. So this affected people like people on SSI, SSDI, or you know, different programs like that, Social Security and stuff like that. They might have dependents 16 or under that they could not file, or they could not prove that they were dependents. And so that information was, you know, the portal was open, people were putting that information in, but guess what? They received their stimulus check, their $1,200 stimulus check, but they did not receive the dependent pay. And so the IRS commissioner was questioned about this last month, or actually, yeah, last month. He was questioned about it at the beginning of last month. And he mentioned, yes, there's about 365,000 people that did not receive their $500 per dependent. And so we're remedying that situation, and we should have those checks out by the end of July. If not, we'll let you know. That's pretty much the last information that I received. One person told me that they did receive that dependent pay, that $500 check, but I want to know if there's anybody else in the room that's received that check, because I do want to do a follow-up video on that and find out just what happened. So if people didn't receive it, what happened? I have not heard that the IRS put anything out, any press release or anything like that, indicating that people either they're behind and they have not sent it out yet, or they only sent it out to a few people, or they're still, what's going on? Are they not sending it out? So that's something that I want to follow up on. So if you're in the chat and you have received it, let me know. Okay. Yeah, I got all set up today. I got my little earpiece thing, and I couldn't find the little clip to clip it to my shirt. So now it's just like dangling. All right. Okay, so if you guys have questions, like I said, just put at TEC. Let's see. Mama's saying the Senate and congressmen are showing the USA that they don't care because, yeah, we're just in crazy times right now. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's a tough situation, and you do have, I don't know. Yeah, she basically, Mama's just saying, Mama T is just saying that senators and Congress people, actually Congress people is everyone, right? You have senators, you have House of Representatives, but they're all Congress people. But they're showing that they don't care, and it is pretty crazy. And I'm not going to say they don't care. I'm just going to say that our party politics, Democrats, Republicans, it's gotten so strong now that they don't see eye to eye, and they don't want to do what's best because of party politics. I think there are a lot of situations where they look at things and they say, yeah, you know what, this is the right thing to do. Like a Democrat might look at a Republican idea and say, this is the right thing to do, but it's against party politics. Republicans do the same thing. They see like these bills that we're looking at. We have the HEROES Act, we have the HEALS Act, and automatically the HEALS Act is a Republican bill. So I don't even want to look at that. Just like when the Republicans saw the HEROES Act, they said it was dead on arrival before even reading it. Before even reading it, they said it was dead on arrival. And then they would complain that it was 1,800 pages. And my response to that is, do your job. It's 1,800 pages. Read it. That's your job. That's your only job. Your job is to legislate. So if you get an 1,800-page bill, you need to read that 1,800-page bill and figure out if it's good or not. Don't tell us it's dead on arrival before you even get it. That's your job. But because of party politics, they're not going to do that. They're just going to say, yep, we're not going to do it. HEROES Act? No, it's a Democrat bill. We don't want to address it. And so I think party politics is really destroying our government when it comes down to it, because we have it's automatic no's before even looking at the situation. So yeah, it's a bad situation. Hopefully it will get better, but right now it's not getting any better. Let's see. Yeah, who's saying this here? Yeah, and we should be looking at other countries too and seeing how they're handling situations or handling the same situation. I was watching a press conference with President Trump earlier today, and he started mentioning these other countries as far as the COVID-19 outbreaks. He started mentioning other countries, and I guess kind of in a way to say, hey, guess what? Other countries are doing bad too. It's not just us, which is fine, but we're doing the worst. We are doing the worst. So, you know, we should be focusing on how we can be better, not focusing on, oh, guess what? Other countries are doing bad too. It's not just us. We should be focusing on the countries that are doing well right now and trying to replicate what they're doing. That's what we should be doing. Okay, let's see. Just moving on down here. Let's see. All the corporate CEOs, presidents, etc., get millions in salary and bonuses. That's Grace saying that. Yes, you know what? I can't remember what CEOs, but there were some CEOs that came out. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. I think it was earlier today that basically saying that, hey, we need this stimulus package. We need stimulus checks. We need to stimulate the economy. So they're pretty much begging the government to get something done because, and let's face it, businesses know, like they know this money needs to come. We need this enhanced unemployment. We should be keeping it at $600. If you want to do the break it down so each state, based on their unemployment rates, they get a certain amount of money. If you want to do that, do that, but give them $500. Start at $500 per month, and once their unemployment rates start to drop, then drop the amount of money that they get. That makes sense. Like that's a common sense approach, I think, to fixing this problem. Just dropping it down to $200 for everybody doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. I mean, it makes just as much sense as putting it at $600 for everybody. Like it's not taking each state, because each state is different. It's not taking each state into account how their unemployment is in their state. It's just saying across the board, this is it. Okay, TEC, mint color. So mint. I know mint is like what? Isn't that like teal? Like aqua blue or something? I don't know. Aqua, blue, green. All right. Hazard pay. So Brandy just put hazard pay. Yeah. Not on the table right now. We'll have to see if they do something about that. I think that, I'm hoping that Democrats are pushing for that. The good thing is Mitch McConnell is open to spending more than $1 trillion now. So that's the good thing. So that means that there's a possibility for us to see some of this, some other stuff in there. One of the other things that has been talked about is the state and local government funding, and I think the Democrats are really holding firm on that. I think that's a good thing. Being that I work for county government, I think it's good that they're looking, to address that. However, the Republicans have really been pushing back on the state and local government funding. They say, first off, well, there's money that was allocated from the CARES Act, $150 billion. You guys haven't spent all that money yet. But the only problem is, and they show that there's a problem, because in the HEALS Act, it allows you to be more flexible, states to be more flexible with how they spend that money that came from the CARES Act. So they already know that you have money that was allocated for state and local government that can't be spent because they can't spend it on, they don't have the flexibility to spend that money. But that's the first thing I think they should be focusing on, is the state and local government, because how much money have we put into the PPP program? Just think about it. All this money going to businesses, that's great. But guess what? You have people who work for these state and local governments. And if you're not going to fund them, those are jobs that are going to be lost. Those are people that are going to be going on unemployment. So, Republicans right now, they're trying to hold that line and saying, well, the money's going to be going to, to these bankrupt states and all this kind of stuff, like states that, go into pensions and stuff like that. Well, pensions, guess what? Pensions, that's employees earn a pension. So if you have issues with sending money to help out with when it comes to, and this is an excuse they're using. You know, you have these pensions that are all bankrupt or whatever, so we don't want to put money into that. But that's money going into employees' pockets, right? So if you say you want to be for the people, if you're sending money to state and local government, it's going to the people. You have people right now. You have law enforcement officers. You have fire. You have hospital people work in hospitals. You have other people working, other county jobs, trash collection, a variety of different things, right? And a lot of these workers are essential. They're working right now, or they've been working this whole time. They're doing furloughs now. They're doing furloughs, and some people are getting laid off that are working for these state and local governments. So I was listening to President Trump earlier today at his press conference, calling them Democrat states and all this stuff. I don't care how you feel about Trump, but I think it's ridiculous that he's saying that, Democrat states. So we are the United States, right? United. We should be united. We should be helping each other out. If one state is doing bad, we should be helping that state. Just like when there's a hurricane, it's the same situation. A state's doing bad, we all pitch in to help that state. I don't care that money's going to Florida if they have a hurricane and people are displaced and lose their home and stuff like that. I don't care that my tax dollars are going to help them, because there could be a situation in California where we have a major earthquake, which we've had in the past, where people are displaced, they lose their home, and they return the favor. So, we need to look at it like that. We are United States. We should be united. And talk like that, in my mind, is dividing us. And it's saying, okay, well, the Democrat states, they're not getting money, but the Republican states will send them some money. The Democrat states are poorly run, and all this stuff. And you have some of these large states like California who, the economy in California is huge. They're putting a lot of money, just like Cuomo from New York was saying, Governor Cuomo was saying, they put a lot of money into the federal government. Like they are sending a lot of money to the federal government. There are a lot of jobs and businesses that are coming out of some of these larger states. They're coming out of all the states, but I'm just using this as an example. Some of these larger states they have a lot of businesses that are there. So if you're not gonna fund them, then you're gonna be in a situation where a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, both in state and local governments, as well as other businesses. There are a lot of small mom and pops that they survive on the state and local government agencies. Realistically, like you might have that little small mom and pop restaurant that's right outside of a government building, state and local government building, and you have a lot of employees that are going out, and they pretty much run. They keep those small mom and pops open. You have some mom and pop restaurants that they're not open on the weekend. You know why they're not open on the weekend? Because they don't get any business. Their business is during the week because they cater to the employees. And I know this for a fact because I worked in an office, and that's where that was the situation. There were a few small mom and pop places, restaurants that weren't open on the weekend. They were only open during the week because we were going in there all the time. And trust me, you could see I like to eat. So I was going in there. And so, and those places would not exist if you have to start doing furloughs and laying people off. You're going to have less traffic going to these restaurants and stuff like that. All right, I'm going on and on about that. Let me kind of slow that down. But like I said, state and local government, I think they need funding. It's very, very important that they're able to use the funding that they have, which I think, one more thing, when it comes to the state or the funding that the state and local governments received from the CARES Act. So from the first bill, or I say the first, but the first package that allowed them to get money, was it the third or fourth package? That money, that should be separate. Like that's the only thing that I'm saying when it comes to like a skinny bill. That skinny bill should have been signed off long time ago. Because if you have money sitting there, that needs to be addressed, and that needs to be allowed. Like the money's already there; it's sitting there. So it's not going to be hard to just get that bill through. And that should have happened. It could have happened in late May. It could have happened in June. We shouldn't be still waiting because it doesn't make any sense to have it in the HEALS Act now, because we're asking, you have people asking for even more money, more state and local government funding. But yeah, I could talk about it forever, so I'm going to stop. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on down here. Let's see how this poll's doing too, as we're talking. So we have. Do I get a total number here? Yeah, we do. 38 votes. So we have a total of 38 votes in our last poll. So who do you blame for the stimulus check or stimulus package delay? So we have 71% Republican, 23% Democrat, and 5% Trump. Okay. So there we are. There we are. Oh, Brandy, okay, she was asking about hazard pay. So hopefully I answered that question. As far as hazard pay goes, we don't know anything right now. I think it should be something that should be at the forefront, but nothing's being discussed when it comes to hazard pay as of right now. Okay, so Jose is asking, so what happened to the generous amounts? Notice the president agrees with the HEROES Act amount. Yeah, what can we say? What can we say? Like I said earlier today, when it came to the executive order, I think he's just kind of floating that out there. I don't think I don't think he's seriously considering doing it at this point. He shouldn't be seriously considering doing it at this point. I think he should wait a little bit. I shouldn't even say he should wait. I don't think he should do it at all, but I think he's using this as a bluff right now to see if he can kind of, get this pushed through. But the president did say that it was going to be generous, and I don't see this being more generous than what the HEROES Act was offering. This is obviously a lot less than what the HEROES Act was offering. And if he's saying that the stimulus checks are going to be larger, well, they're the same. And it sounds like, according to Stephen Mnuchin, that he's on board for this $1,200 stimulus check. He's not asking for any more. So apparently he was just talking. All right. Lyndon's in the building. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate that, brother. Showing love and respect. I appreciate that, man. So Lyndon, how to get an 800 credit score. So if you need to improve your credit, you want to check his channel out. He has a YouTube channel where he talks about how to improve credit. He's also talking about stimulus check stuff. So he's doing the stimulus check updates just like I am. So you want to go over there and join his channel, subscribe to his channel, and then watch his videos. I think he's doing dailies. I'm not for sure, but I know he does put out content on a regular basis. Let's see. Wow. So Vegas saying that he caught COVID, or he or she, I don't know if I can't see the little profile. Caught COVID-19, kicked his butt for 2 weeks. Wow. Yeah. And he's saying that hazard pay makes sense. Yeah, I think it does. I think hazard pay does make sense, especially if you, the argument that's going out that Mitch McConnell's using, Stephen Mnuchin, you hear them using the argument that people are making more money on unemployment than they are if they were working. Well, one of the ways to fix that is by giving these people who have been working, these essential workers, giving them hazard pay, giving them a bonus. That would help the situation. And that would promote going back to work, if you want to say it that way. People would go back to work. Guess what? They would be able to get some of this hazard pay. Because I think, realistically, everyone working right now is essential, right? You do have some people who are not working, or at least they have the opportunity to work from home and things like that. But I think the people who are working now, they're essential. That's why they're working. Let's see. All right, Janelle, thank you for the super chat, Janelle. Appreciate that. Okay. All right, we're gonna move through real quick. We've been on for almost an hour and 20 minutes. So we're gonna have to wrap it up because we have to go over and do the giveaway. So make sure you guys sign up for our stimulus check group. We're gonna go over there right now and do a giveaway. It'll be a $50 giveaway. You need to have Cash App. Okay, so the only way that you can win is if you have Cash App. And the way that it works is I will get in the room and I will ask you for your Cash App, basically. And I'll give you a number. I'll say the seventh person sends their Cash App gets $50, and then that will be our winner. Okay, and we're running. Where are we right now when it comes to now the money that I'm giving? This is my first stimulus check. Okay, so I loaded my Cash App up with $1,200, and we are now down to, see if I can drop the not the resolution, but the brightness. We're down to $314. So that's where we are. So we've put a lot of that money out. What is that? 900 bucks. So we've done 900 already on the giveaway. And we will be giving away the rest. And then hopefully we'll get another stimulus check soon and I can do it all over again. But yeah, that has to happen sometime very soon, right? We're all waiting for this next round of stimulus checks. Let's see. Do you think Mitch is just over being the leader of the Senate? That's Jorge asking that question. That's you know what? That's a really good question. He might be over it. He might be done with it and just kind of riding this out. There could be a possibility, just for those of you who don't know how things work when it comes to the Senate. The majority leader is based on who carries the majority in the Senate, the Democrats or the Republicans. So there could be an opportunity for the Democrats to gain a majority in the Senate. You have 20, I keep hearing different numbers, 23 or 26 Republicans. I need to do some research on that. I was saying 23 before, but then I heard, I don't know if it was Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell might have actually said it, so he would know more than me. So 26 Republicans running for re-election, and you have 12 Democrats running for re-election. And so because of that, and because of the times that we're in, it's very possible that the Republicans might not be able to maintain their majority in the Senate. And if that happens, well, then Mitch McConnell will no longer be the majority leader. He would then be the minority leader if they vote him in as the minority leader, because the senators all have an opportunity to vote. Well, the Republican senators have an opportunity to vote for their leader. So we'll see where that goes. He might be over it. I mean, you might be right. He might be in a situation where it's just like, I'm done. Like, these guys don't, I mean, you have to look like he's not able to wrangle his guys up, or his people up, I should say. They're not all on board, right? You have 15 to 20 that don't want to go with what he wants. So he might have already lost his leadership power. So, yeah. Let's see. So Christina is saying that I'm bummed I haven't been getting notifications on when you go live. I'm subscribed. Thank you for for subscribing, Christina. Make sure that bell notifications is clicked on. And I have been having issues with that. I've already contacted YouTube, and basically, you should be getting notified according to them. So, you know, I apologize. One thing that I am doing a little less is I was posting a lot in the community, on the community page. I'm not doing that as much because YouTube, according to YouTube, they only allow a certain amount of notifications to go out. So if I post a video and then I post on the community tab, maybe 3 times, or I'm just giving you an example. So there's like 4 notifications that need to go out. They're not going to send them all out because that kind of, people don't like to get all these notifications, right? So that's something that I'm not doing that as much, where I'm doing a lot of community posts. So hopefully you get notifications. Let me know though if you're not, if you continue to not get notifications, and I'll contact them again. But you're not the only one. There are other people who have told me the same thing. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take off here. So we'll do the final numbers here when it comes to the last poll. So we had 40 votes, 70% blame the Republicans, 25% Democrat, and 5% Trump. And just to break down the numbers, 28 votes for saying that the Republicans, 10 votes saying the Democrats, and 2 votes saying Trump is to blame for the delay. All right, guys. So we're going to go over to the stimulus check group that we have, our Discord, and I'll see you over there. All right, talk to you later. Bye.